Well, what the heck? Why not go for the longest shot on the board, right? Especially if it's trained by the giant killer, Alan Jerkens. That's number 6 Bowman's Band, who, as I mentioned, defeated Dynevor last October in the Meadowlands Cup at 1 1/8. And here is that race. Dynevor, of course, charging on the outside, but look at Bowman's Band in front there in the orange, holding off Dynevor to win it. Already this year, Alan Jerkens has won the Fort Marcy with Chili Rooster at $66 to win. Medalist in the Withers at 19. Passing shot in the Bed of Roses at $16.60. The Giant Killer is alive, well, and winning stakes races at big prices. Bowman's Band right now, 18-1, longest shot on the board.
My evening attire getting no mention whatsoever. Let's see what Quint Kesnick has to say about this.
My first Pimlico special was 1990. I was a senior in college. I came over. Criminal Type went wire to wire for D. Wayne off the plane. I think the same scenario sets up today. Southern Image, coast to coast. Take it to the house, Kenny.
Janine, any difference of opinion here?
I'm going to go with Quint on this one. I think Southern Image is going to have everything his own way without Funnyside in here. It's going to be hard for the closers to make up any ground. He had a microfracture in his hind pastern. They thought it was his stifle. Did a nuclear scan. They found the problem, and since then he has done nothing but win. Mike Mikowski has spent a lot of time teaching this aggressive horse to relax. Sometimes he has his mind on other things, shall we say, the ladies in particular. So he's been a bit headstrong and hard to control, but since he's learned to channel his energy in the proper place, Southern Image has been unbeatable.
As they load into the gate, keep an eye on the blanket right there going on number 2, Old Fonte. Elliot Walden told me that that is a security blanket.
They borrow it from Keeneland.
He gets a little anxious sometimes, and since very early in his career, Walden's been putting that blanket on him because he acted up early in his career in the starting gate, but not anymore.
We used those at Aqueduct one year when it was cold. Now, you know, early in the parade to post, when you introduced the Midway Road, a 123 bar, you can't just dismiss it, but it was an off track, and there is some variation there.
I mean, he's obviously a good horse. A year ago this weekend, he finished second to Funnyside in the Preakness. You know, at this distance, mile and 3/16. He's probably not 123 good, but he could be a pace factor. If he's improved that much to be one of the top handicap horses in the country, and he's got the inside post position, you can look for him, if he's that good, to run with Southern Image early, but that is a big question. And incidentally, his owner, Will Farish, trainer Neil Howard, jockey Robbie Alvarado, won this race a year ago with Mineshaft.
Now, will they take that blanket off and give it to Bowman's Band as well? Because now he's getting up there. All right, Dave Rodman's going to call this just as well as he did the last.
In Bowman's Band, one left to load. Dynevor with Corey Nakatani. Dynevor in. All set.
Larry, give me one. All right, Goose. Okay.
Up and running in the Pimlico Special. And a clean break indeed, and there goes Southern Image directly to the front with Bowman's Band right alongside of the second spot in Midway Road from the inside gate, followed by Old Fonte, who settled back in fourth, and Dynevor is not far from the front, only about 4.5 lengths off the lead, and Evening Attire's back there as well. That's the gray in between horses. Past the line for the first time. It's going to be an easy pace. Southern Image and Victor Espinoza, but Midway Road and Robbie Alvarado guarding down to the inside, and now Robbie goes on with Midway Road into the turn and takes that lead. Midway Road's in front with 7/8 to go by a length and a quarter. But Southern Image going to relax under Victor Espinoza in second, and it's another 3. Bowman's Band is third, followed by Old Fonte against the fence in fourth. Evening Attire and Dynevor. They're the back markers and only 6.5 lengths off the lead. On up the back stretch they go. Easy as can be pace for Midway Road up front. But Southern Image is tracking well in the second spot. 2 to Bowman's Band third. Old Fonte fourth. Evening Attire is at the mercy of the crawling pace up front, and so is Dynevor. Only 5 lengths covers the field. In the Pimlico Special, Midway Road and Robbie Alvarado still out there with Southern Image. Dominguez once more from Bowman's Band getting closer at the half-mile mark. Dynamer's trying to make an early bid as they approach the far turn, followed by Old Fonte and Evening Attire. 3/8 of a mile left to run. They're quickening up now. Midway Road going on with it by a neck. Southern Image moves almost to even turns, with Midway Road still fending off Southern Image. Bowman's Band third. Dynamer is fourth with 5 lengths to close them. It looks like a 2-horse race with a quarter to go at Pimlico. Southern Image and Victor Espinoza turning for home. Midway Road fighting on out of the inside. Midway Road has fight. Southern Image has grit on the outside. Bowman's Band is third. At the furlong marker, Southern Image beginning to get away from Midway Road. Third is Bowman's Band. Dynever's back in fourth, and Evening Attire with a 16th of a mile to come. It's Southern Image, and another Grade 1 win for Southern Image. It's all in a day's work for Southern Image to win the Pimlico Special. Midway Road was second. Bowman's Band and Evening Attire. Dynever second last, and Old Fonte.
All right, so much for singling Dynevor. Southern Image, this thing has turned it on. I mean, now you can almost look back and say what could have been back when it was younger, you know, if those injuries and the sickness and all that had happened. But I guess it doesn't matter now, because in the present, this thing's running as well as anyone.
Very, very talented horse, and this was just the scenario that that the trainer of your horse, Christophe Clement, trainer of Dynaver, feared. 47 and 2, 47.53 for a half mile. The track is very slow, so it's not like, you know, they're going 50 out there for a half. But for these horses, it's a very slow pace. I mean, Southern Image went 45 and 3 at Santa Anita in the Sunshine Millions Classic. He went 46 and 1 in the Santa Anita handicap. And trainer Michael Mikowski has done a very good job with this horse.
He's doing all right so far here. Coming off that grade 1 Santa Anita handicap, jumps right back into this. That's after winning the Malibu grade 1. So is there, I don't believe there's any other horse that's done precisely that, correct? These $1 million races.
Exactly. They were trying to get him to relax off the pace nicely, and obviously Mikowski's done it well.
We got a winner here. Southern Image, Victor Espinoza, pulling away in each stretch. Come back and wrap up the Pimlico Special when we return right after this break.
This ESPN presentation of Citgo Black-Eyed Susan is brought to you by Citgo, fueling the greatest of American sports. By Visa, proud sponsor of the Visa Triple Crown. By Budweiser, enjoy a cold, fresh Budweiser, because fresh beer tastes better. By Argent Mortgage, ask your mortgage broker about an Argent loan. By Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. By Long John Silver's new shrimp and seafood salad. And by Equibase.com, your official online source for racing information from entries to results and everything in between. Equibase.com is a service of Equibase Company, the thoroughbred industry's official database.
Welcome back here to Pimlico. Southern Image continues to be nothing if not impressive. Southern Image, the third horse ever to win the Santa Anita Handicap and Pimlico Special. The others Farm Away and an animal named Seabiscuit. Janine's with the winning trainer.
That's right, Kenny. And Southern Image was the only horse in the race that was actually stepping down from $1 million race to a $500,000 race. But I'm sure going into this race today, you had to be concerned about how the track was playing.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, one of my owners made a comment to me, and I just kind of just brushed off, not worried too much, because he's trained so good.
This horse has been hard for you to manage. You've had your challenges, your ups and downs, the injury, his temperament, and everything. How rewarding is this for you?
Oh, it's the best, yeah. Every time I run him, it brings tears to my eyes, so it's been fun, you know.
And of course, the Scratch of Funny side had to help, I'm sure, with the pace scenario.
Yeah, it helped him, you know, made us get a little more comfortable trip and all that. We have, it just kind of set it up nice for him, and you know, he got a little tired on me, I think, the last part, but, you know, this is a little different surface than he's been used to.
Well, if this was tired, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, like I said all along, I don't think we've hit the bottom on him yet.
Well, you enjoy that, and where might we see him next?
If he ships back home and trains well, I'll definitely look at the Stephen Foster.
All right, well, congratulations. Go get your picture taken. That's 5 wins in a row now for Southern Image. Kenny?
This one now official. Southern Image, your winner here. Impressive. And Randy, you got to give all sorts of credit to the one inside. We weren't sure if Midway Road was up to coming back to, you know, what it had done in the slot, but certainly gave Southern Image a handful down the stretch.
He ran a heck of a race. The horses that were up there 1, 2, 3 around the first part of the racetrack, including the Bud Longshot Bowman's Band, finished 1, 2, 3. But you know, you can't really make that much of an excuse for Dynaver. If he had made this huge run, you know, and had come up like a couple lengths short because of the pace, that's one thing. But he was way back there at the finish, along with Evening Attire. They were beaten close to 10 lengths.
Evening Attire was just old. The other horse was pregnant. He was old. Let's find out. And they go on the backside here, going down the backside here, looking at how Victor Espinoza appears to be pretty well in hand with his horse. You know, he's not pushing him at all, just sitting on top.
Look how he's restraining him. You can see how taut the reins are. Look at the position of his legs, how stiff they are. He's leaning back against Southern Image. Compare that with Robbie Alvarado, the rider of Midway Road, who was in the lead. He's sort of leaning forward. His knees are bent. There's a good shot from the blimp, and you can see that is Dynaver out there trying to rally on the outside, but not making up nearly enough ground. A strong effort by both the top 2 horses, by Midway Road and by Evening Attire. And did I actually say about an hour ago that there was some concern about how the California horses were going to run on this racetrack?
Yeah, you've been wrong before.
So what do we see? We see Yearly Report when the Black Eyed Susan, and now we see Southern Image. It just goes to show you that a top-class horse in California, with the kind of racing they have out there, can go anywhere and win over any kind of surface.
Imperialism and Rock Hard 10 on Saturday, is that what you're saying?
Don't count them out. I doubt if the track will be this deep tomorrow. They're going to do some major work on it overnight.
And there's predictions of rain. We didn't have any today, but there could very well be that. So we got a winner. We saw him on a boat the other day, didn't we?
The trainer, Mike Mikowski. We kind of had that. That's not Mike, but we had a chance to hang out
when he won the race.
Yeah. Charles E. Canty has a boat, and we were invited, and so was he.
We weren't really, none of us were invited. We just showed up there, actually. But he was very low-key about the whole thing, and he wasn't bragging up his horse much. You know,
he just kind of does.
Yeah, I don't remember him saying this is a sure thing. That's for certain. All right, the Preakness is the next big thing in the card. Not that there aren't some good races leading to that, which we will cover all day long tomorrow, leading to the Preakness, which is a little bit after 6 o'clock. But what you just pointed out doesn't make a lot of sense, because so many times people will talk about horses can't do this and they can't do that, and then it's disproved. Doesn't mean it's going to happen again tomorrow either, though. Oh, exactly. And very possibly we're going to wake up in the morning and they're going to be out on the racetrack during the break after training, and you're going to see actually after the races today. It's probably when they're going to start, and you're going to see, chances are, a completely different racetrack tomorrow with a whole different set of variables. And that's if it doesn't rain. There's a chance that it may rain, hopefully not like it did at Churchill Downs, but that's also a factor, perhaps. Right. Did I answer anything? No. Vaguely, but you're going to get to that on the very next show, because on ESPN2 coming up presently, handicapping the Preakness in full detail. They'll have sheets. They'll have fires. They got pace. They got it all. I wonder if any of these guys will pick Smarty this time. They're probably all going to bandwagon and go down that road. Bunch of front runners they are. Tipped off. All right, we're going to see you around here all weekend. We've enjoyed it. We'll be back for a full slate, Reese Davis and all of us tomorrow. This, of course, has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For further documentation of that, please go to ESPN.com, where there are live updates. The handicapping show's on ESPN2. Sports Center follows next right here on ESPN. We'll see you around all weekend.